welcome again to my tens and tens of friends. It is me, Teacher TJ, and today we will be reviewing Abbott Elementary, Season 5, Episode 10, titled Mall. And this one is Mall Part 2, Questions and Concerns, because of course they have to have those, right? They're having school in the mall. I have questions and concerns. The show opens up with Janine Teagues in her classroom teaching her students, and a big old, well, first of all, let me tell you how much you get critiqued as a preschool teacher. Her student is she asked 5 times 4, I believe it was, and they gave the correct answer, which was 20. And she says, "Good job." Do you know, as a preschool teacher, good job is unacceptable. We need full sentences and yada, 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 because, we get yearly reviews. And then if you are in quality rating programs, they critique you on everything. I mean, language is very important when it comes to the littles. So the more you say, the better. So just hearing her say good job, not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying for us, this kind of like the way that it goes. Like, you can't just say good job. You have to be like, "Oh, good job. I love the way you answered that question. Good job. You got the correct answer. Good job." But she's teaching kindergartners and I have preschoolers, so it totally makes sense to me. But as soon as she says good job, this giant, I believe it's Ben Frank giant head comes down out of nowhere and it starts playing some patriotic music. And uh, it says the only thing that is certain is Texas, death, and something else. And it's like the kids started freaking out. It's total pandemonium, and the one kid runs out the classroom. We talked about that in one of my episodes, what to do when your children run out the classroom. Luckily for Janine, it was only, oh my God, one kid running out the classroom would terrify me because it's a mall. So where are you going? And it's like, my other kids. So, but luckily enough for Janine, the one kid ran out of the classroom, and only the one kid ran out of the classroom. So that was good. She got to go get the kid. And then the show rolled to the credits. So the show opens up and it starts with a bunch of parents pretty much hounding the teachers because they have questions, right? They want to know about breakfast and the bus route and when can they get back into Abbott, period, right? Because having school in the mall is not what anyone wants for themselves. Although Mall of America, I used to live in Minnesota and I have family there too, but I believe that for sure, I think I went to school. I don't know, that's bad that I don't remember, but I think it was like alternative school for just a short period of time in the mall. And then I feel like they have a university in the Mall of America, but that's the Mall of America. But outside of that, it's not for elementary school students. So quite naturally, all of the parents want to get back their children back to Abbott. So they have questions, and believe it or not, Ava is actually working hard to try to figure some things out. But you know how the district be. Meanwhile, Melissa is regressing back to the 80s, I guess. Her hair is getting bigger by the minute, and she's getting a little bit like messy in a teenage type of way. She's talking about someone who should have been slapped. I don't know if it was a teacher or what, but she's saying, that person should have been slapped, and she's trying to get all the rest of the teachers to agree with her, but no one does. It's Mr. Morton, I believe his name is, the teacher who fell through the ceiling at the beginning of the year. Well, he's like, "Yeah, I agree with you, Melissa. Sometimes a slap can change the world." Who knew? Mr. Morton is being very weird. He keep calling her his friend, and she's kind of picking up on him being a little weird, but she's not thinking too much of it. So we'll see where this goes, because he appears to have something up his sleeve. Although I'm not a big fan of Tariq for Janine, I am a fan of Tariq because he is hilarious. So he walks up with another parent to Janine and he's talking about he's the world's greatest dad. And all the parents keep coming up to him with questions about Abbott and he needs answers. Meanwhile, he's not even sure if his son is being picked up by his real dad or not. Turns out Tariq is the president of the PTA. Now, who did that? How is he the president of the PTA? One, he doesn't have any children. Not for real. Like, and then for two, he's Tariq. So why is he the president of the PTA? Like, what is going on, Abbott? Also, I would love to be the president of my kids' PTA, but it's kind of like on my terms. Like, don't call me for everything, and I don't want to be like I want to be. Just put me on a decorating committee because I'm lying. Since the parents are really just looking to be heard, and Ava is actually seriously too busy to have a bunch of parents yell at her, and Janine and Greg are both interested in having their mornings back since every day they have parents yelling at them for over an hour. They've decided to go ahead and hold the PTA meeting for Principal Ava. Ava's done listening to them complain about this meeting, so she has Daya escort them out. Side note, Daya is Mr. Johnson, only because she's on vacation and she needs an office assistant, I guess. I don't know, but yeah. So he's working on being Daya and he's doing a pretty good job. Also, Mr. Morton is helping Melissa because he told her he would meet her in her storefront to go over some notes about how to enter information into the system for their testing grades and scores. The secret beef between Jacob or the personal beef, I don't know what to call this beef because everyone is like, Jacob is only in your head. And Jacob is like, no, he really doesn't like me. He's being passive aggressive and all this stuff. You've been feeling this way about this man forever. So since he is in Melissa's class, as Jacob is strolling down the hall, he's like, I guess I might as well stop in here. What's going on? So he goes in to see what's going on, and Mr. Morton speaks to Jacob, and the way that Jacob just coughed him off like he didn't hear him, he's crazy. I'm gonna have to add that. He's like, Jacob said, I can't hear that man. What, Jacob? I'm gonna have to add that one to my repertoire. Since Barbara and Melissa are having a beef, Jacob feels like Mr. Morton is using that opportunity to infiltrate their friend group and take Melissa away from their friend group, and make his own friend group with Melissa in it. Because who wouldn't want Melissa in the friend group, right? But Barbara tells him to relax. He's tripping out. Gregory and Janine are trying to hold a meeting with all of the parents because they have questions, and but they don't have answers. So they gave them the information that they have, and now the parents are still upset because they're like, listen, we want answers, and when are y'all going to know something? And they're like, listen, this is all we got. But the fact that Janine told the parents that they've taught kids how to exit during fire drills and emergencies, and one of the parents shout, oh, good. So now they know you trained them on how to run out into the streets. Some parents are just insatiable. They're doing the best they can. So the parents are like, listen, you two don't have any answers. Where is Principal Coleman? Because it seems like she's hiding. And why is Tariq in the audience screaming with the parents as if he has a child? If you don't get your body out this school, Tariq. But basically, although they spoke to them, they still want to speak to Principal Ava, Principal Coleman, so that they can get some answers. But the truth of the matter is, she doesn't even have the answers, and it's funny how sometimes that parents won't want things that you just don't have. I know I've been put in situations where parents want things that I just cannot, I don't have the capabilities to provide, or because you can't just do what you want to, even though it's like a home daycare, it's way more lax than a center. There's still rules and guidelines, so I can't just do whatever I want to do. And sometimes I have to check with people who have to get the answer for me. And so it's not just having an immediate answer all the time for everything. And I have personally learned to direct parents away from me because, yes, this is my establishment, but no, I don't make all the rules. Like, I make a lot of the rules, but I don't make all the rules. And I don't break any rules on account of nobody because I am not interested in losing my license. So I will really quickly direct somebody to my supervisor if need be. And if I had to keep it directing you to my supervisor, you might not be the parent for me because ain't nobody got time for that. Tariq is a real mess. He is really pumping the parents up to yell at Janine and Gregory. And he doesn't have any kids there. It's like, dude, if you don't get your body about this building, like, what are you doing? Back in Mr. Morton's class, Melissa Shementi is playing Pac-Man, and she's beat his score. And Mr. Morton is pretty impressed. He also lets her know that they're having a game night, a trivia night at a bar, and he would like her to go so that they can win because she's really good at sports facts. And but he's being really weird about it. He said, "Join me, friend," and it's like, why you say friend like that? So she kind of like got an eye out on him. You know, Jacob's already said that he's not trusting him, and he's being a little weird. So we'll see how this goes. But Barbara actually saw him invite her to the game night. She was kind of like lurking behind a random pole or something. So Ava has decided to create an Ava AI. She called it AI Ava, 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 or something like that. But she has created a voice interactive line for the parents to call and to fuss at because she doesn't have time for that. And the parents are onto her. They figured out that it's not the real Ava, and they still want to yell at her. I guess yelling at somebody makes you feel better. That's not true. That's not true. Because at the end of the day, they're still going to have the same problem. So yelling really doesn't solve anything. I think they should band together and probably do attend some school meetings and figure out how to come up with a solution with all of the problems that they have, you know, according to state rules and regulations, I guess. I don't know. So Ava still needs to talk to the parents, and Janine and Greg let her know that, and she is not too happy about it, but she's willing to do so. Also, Jacob and Barbara have gone to the trivia night at the school, and they're dressed up, I guess, incognito, so that no one really, Mr. Morton and their team don't recognize them. I don't care what Barbara puts on, she looks good. You better go, Barbara. So Ava has showed up to the team meeting. Well, not team meeting, but to the school meeting, and just as expected, all the parents wanted to yell at her, and they did. And there's no resolve, but I guess they feel better after yelling. I don't know. Then we go over to the trivia night, and Mr. Morton is congratulating Melissa on doing such a good job, and he shades Jacob, which is interesting considering he always speaking to Jacob, but as soon as he has the opportunity to shade him, he did so. So Melissa finds out that Mr. Morton was actually trying to steal Melissa as a friend and add her to their friend group. Barbara's old student turned new teacher has only come along with Mr. Morton because he was told he would get a free drink. And when he got there, Mr. Morton gave him water. And then the other lady liked trivia a lot. So that's the only reason she was there. So they really had on no interest in stealing a friend and making a new friend group. That was pretty much Mr. Morton all on his own. It was actually indeed a plan. But at the end, Mr. Morton tried shading Barbara, and Melissa wasn't going. So much for that friend group.
Bye, 10.
Mr. Morton. Mr. Morton is also Mr. Morton. Since since Barbara and Melissa. What's up? Miss Shementi, Melissa Shementi.